Kepler-22b, a super-Earth located 635 light-years away from Earth. Beckons our curiosity like a distant mystery, a planet that could hold the key to a second chance at life. But can you survive on this planet? Or will it simply become a deadly wasteland, where the existence of humankind is nothing more than a distant illusion? A planet that could be Earth too, one where water exists, an atmosphere envelops it, and perhaps even life thrives. But the reality behind this allure isn't always as bright. Kepler-22b holds so many promises, yet it raises a profound question. Will we be able to survive? Or are we merely racing against time, facing the invisible limits that the universe imposes on us? Kepler-22b lies in a place so distant, 635 light-years away from Earth, a distance that even the imagination struggles to fathom. Yet, the vastness of the universe cannot dampen humanity's insatiable thirst for exploration. In a world where technology relentlessly advances, we find ourselves asking, how can we overcome this monumental distance and set foot on this faraway planet? We now possess the technology for faster-than-light travel, warp drive, an invention once thought to exist only in science fiction. With warp drive, space no longer remains a barrier, but something that can be bent and moved through at speeds exceeding light itself. A simple pop in space, and in the blink of an eye, a journey of 635 light-years becomes a brief adventure. It's a possibility that transcends limits once deemed unreachable by science. But will traveling faster than light be as simple as that? Can technology propel us to Kepler-22b in such a short time? Or will we continue to face the fundamental constraints of physics? With every step closer we take to new technological heights, a question arises. Do we truly understand the full scope of what's happening? While warp drive might allow us to cross the infinite distances of space, a profound question about life and existence remains unresolved. We may conquer space, but can we truly survive in it? The challenge isn't just about the speed at which we move, it's also about the very nature of space itself. With its unforeseen waves of physical forces, not everything in space conforms perfectly to theory. There are phenomena that remain unexplained, things we can't fully grasp. As we place our hopes in warp drive, could something in those distant rays of light stand in the way of our journey? When you land on Kepler-22b, the first thing you'll feel is the weight of space. It's not the gloom or the harshness, but gravity. The gravity on Kepler-22b is 2.07 times that of Earth. Every step becomes a challenge. Your legs feel as though they're bound by an invisible force, making each step more difficult than the last. You will sense the rigidity of your body, as if you're sinking into a world where the freedom of movement is no longer yours. Every motion is heavy, a constant reminder of human frailty in the face of natural forces beyond our control. But gravity isn't the only threat you'll face. The atmosphere of Kepler-22b is a thick veil that envelops the planet. But it's not one that humans can breathe. There's no oxygen. This atmosphere is primarily made up of hydrogen and helium, elements that cannot sustain human life. You won't be able to breathe, not even for a second. Each time you try to inhale, you'll only feel emptiness. The air you once knew, now a foreign, stiff, and indigestible substance. Can humanity adapt? Or is this the final frontier that our species must accept in this vast universe? And that's not all. The dense atmosphere of Kepler-22b exerts tremendous pressure, enough to crush and damage your internal organs. This pressure is like an overinflated balloon ready to burst at any moment. It obstructs your airways, causing barotrauma, crushing your lungs and inflicting severe internal damage. Every breath you attempt becomes a futile struggle for survival. You become painfully aware that your body cannot withstand the relentless forces of this environment for long. Life in a place like this isn't merely difficult. It's a battle against the very essence of existence. Landing on Kepler-22b, you find yourself sinking into a vast, unfamiliar ocean. There is no land, only water, a sprawling liquid sea with no shore in sight. For hours, you are swept into an endless expanse of water, where the lives of humans and the life on this planet seem to have no intersection. You imagine yourself like a fish in the deep sea. But not everything beneath the surface is as peaceful as it seems. The waves in the waters of Kepler-22b are far from the tranquil world you might have imagined. Beneath the surface, danger lurks. Invisible to the naked eye. While the water may exist in a liquid form, it is not clean. The chemicals within it may have long since shifted. Harmful elements, perhaps acids or heavy metals, have merged into these oceans, turning them into deadly chambers for any living creatures without protective gear. Can you drink the water of Kepler-22b? Absolutely not. Every drop from this ocean could contain elements that would make human survival impossible. What you thought was pure water could be a corrosive chemical, a liquid full of peril for your body. A single touch, without swallowing could inflict immediate damage, burning through your skin, disrupting your internal organs. Can you even imagine the feeling, submerged in water that would destroy every cell within you? Kepler-22b's oceans may be a battleground for the native life there, but for humans, they are a desperate abyss. It is a place where life cannot sustain itself, where water, the very element you once thought to be the essence of all life, becomes the very thing that destroys us. The water on Kepler-22b isn't just undrinkable. It is an incomprehensible threat to survival. Surrounded by that ocean, you can't help but wonder, with all our technological advancements, can we truly survive in such a world? A world where water, the very essence of life, becomes an invisible nightmare? Kepler-22b challenges not just our physical survival, but offers a harsh lesson in the fragility of humanity within this vast universe. We might conquer space, but can we conquer the very essence of life in environments as unimaginable as this? Satellite Kepler-22b, with all the anticipation of being an Earth-like planet, does not carry the life we expected. Scans reveal no signs of life, no trace of animals or plants, no movement of living organisms, not even the smallest bacterium. It's a silent world where life, even in its simplest form, cannot exist. Creatures, if they exist, would undoubtedly live under extremely harsh conditions, beneath layers of water that may contain acids or heavy metals, in an atmosphere devoid of oxygen where human life could not endure for long. An environment lacking oxygen, water that could be hazardous, and gravity so strong that it forces the human body to submit. How long could you survive? Perhaps Kepler-22b is not just a planet devoid of life. In stark contrast to what we imagine about extraterrestrial life, Kepler-22b is not just a distant, unfamiliar planet. It is a life-or-death challenge for humanity. The most terrifying aspect isn't simply the lack of oxygen or the dangerous water. It's the sudden, violent change in atmospheric pressure, a factor humanity is ill-prepared to face. What you thought was a promising space soon becomes a horrifying trap. Barotrauma, or pressure injury, can occur as soon as you step outside your spacecraft, instantly transforming the air around you into a deadly liquid that compresses your body under unimaginable pressure. The intense pressure from Kepler-22b's thick atmosphere would cause your lungs to collapse, your internal organs to fail, and waves of excruciating pain that you cannot endure. These physiological reactions mark the beginning of an inevitable death, with no chance to resist the brutal environment. It's not just the physical body. Even humanity's very existence in this vast universe seems ill-prepared for such challenges. Kepler-22b, with all the dangers it presents, serves as a painful indictment of human frailty when standing against the overwhelming forces of extraterrestrial nature. When we imagine survival on a distant planet like Kepler-22b, survival is not just a physical equation, it becomes a constant struggle between life and death in the harsh expanse of space. Kepler-22b, with its extreme conditions and unrelenting radiation, raises the daunting question of human survival. How do we keep the human body, potentially a foreign organism, alive in the icy void and perilous dangers of such a world? How do we push the boundaries of current technology to sustain life when the environment is so unforgiving? Energy becomes the lifeblood. Right now, relying on renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and nuclear power may be the only solution for sustaining life on the harsh terrain of Kepler-22b. Imagine a planet where you must develop self-sustaining energy systems. With solar panels set up in extremely hostile environments, where light is weak and the atmosphere thin. But can our current technology meet these challenges? Renewable energy technologies are advancing at an incredible rate. Higher efficiency solar panels, smarter wind turbines. These can turn natural resources into the necessary power to sustain life. But on a planet like Kepler-22b, will these energy sources be enough to maintain long-term life systems? These renewable energy systems must not only be robust, but perfected in energy conversion efficiency. Providing enough power for the biological greenhouses, water filtration devices, and other critical survival technologies. With no natural resources to rely on, these technologies will become the sole lifeline. Even with enough energy to survive, an unavoidable threat still lurks. Radiation from space is not just an inconvenience, it is a real and present danger to life. Earth is shielded by its magnetic field and atmosphere. But Kepler-22b lacks such protection. There will be no natural shields to guard humans from the intense radiation emitted by distant stars. Cosmic radiation, along with X-rays and powerful gamma radiation from Kepler-22b's host star, could turn every living organism into a dangerous experiment inside a natural reactor. But is it possible to protect ourselves from this peril? The development of advanced radiation shields capable of absorbing and reflecting harmful radiation will be crucial. Recent studies suggest that ultralight materials like graphene, along with special plastic composites, and superconducting metals could play a vital role in creating optimal protective shields. However, one big question remains. Will these materials be strong enough to withstand the extreme levels of radiation Kepler-22b might dish out? Additionally, personal protective suits will need to be designed to be light, flexible, and yet strong enough to counter the negative effects of radiation on the human body. These suits will not just be armor, they will need to serve as complete environmental systems, regulating temperature and pressure to help astronauts maintain their health in the thin and cold air of Kepler-22b. Can humans survive in this cold, brutal universe? Will our current technologies evolve fast enough to address all these survival challenges? And can we figure out how to protect ourselves from the lethal dangers we cannot see, but that always lurk in the shadows of an infinite universe? But one thing is certain, when we step into an alien realm like Kepler-22b, we will face challenges unlike any we've encountered before. Every technology we develop will be a vital piece in the puzzle of survival. And in this race, there is no room for complacency, only creativity, resilience, and cutting-edge technology will help us win the battle for survival. Imagine a day when humanity is no longer confined to just one planet, but instead must find a way to survive on a distant world, hundreds of light years away. Kepler-22b, the first planet confirmed to be in the habitable zone of its star, stands as a symbol of a future full of potential. The question remains, can Kepler-22b be our next home? Or, on the other hand, could this planet simply serve as a reminder of the vastness of the universe, offering challenges we might never overcome? We have survived millions of years on Earth, but what happens when we face a world that isn't our home? From an optimistic standpoint, Kepler-22b could be the place where humanity finds a second chance. Advanced technologies, from renewable energy systems to space farming methods, would allow us to build a home in the stars. Biological greenhouses, self-sustaining systems, and environmental technologies could transform this world into a livable space, even if it's not the ideal first choice. We might be able to create thriving communities on this planet with technical measures in place to protect humans from radiation, regulate the atmosphere, and maintain a food supply. Yet, there are darker scenarios to consider. Kepler-22b might turn out to be an uninhabitable place for humans. Its distance from Earth would make communication and contact a nearly insurmountable challenge. Despite its location in the habitable zone, this planet could have harsh environmental factors, radiation, extreme temperatures, and a lack of natural resources that would make survival an impossible task. This raises a difficult question. Can our technology overcome these factors and ensure long-term survival? The importance of preparing for the future goes beyond just building technology. It's about recognizing the deeper existential questions we will face as we step outside Earth's safe embrace. As we venture beyond our home planet, we'll not only encounter scientific challenges, but also profound questions about the meaning of life and our connection to the universe. Can we retain our sense of humanity on a distant planet? Will this new home be enough to make us feel that we truly belong? Or will we merely be strangers desperately clinging to life in an inhospitable environment? Kepler-22b may offer hope for a future in space, but is it the perfect destination for long-term survival? The road ahead is fraught with challenges and uncertainty. We can't be sure whether Kepler-22b could be the ideal place for human habitation. But one thing is clear: the future of humanity will not depend solely on technology. It will also depend on our ability to understand the limitations of our own existence. Facing this vast universe, the question is not whether we can survive, but whether we can truly find a place to call home in this infinite cosmos. If you were to set foot on Kepler-22b, one of the first questions that would come to mind is there life here? But what does life look like on a distant planet, with conditions that are harsh and unlike anything we know on Earth? Could life exist here in a form we can recognize? Or would it be something entirely different, challenging everything we currently understand about biology? One of the most intriguing aspects of Kepler-22b is its potential to harbor life. But what if the life here doesn't resemble anything we have encountered before? On Earth, every living organism is built from one fundamental element: carbon. From the tiniest microbes to the largest animals. All life forms rely on carbon-based chemistry to sustain their existence. But on Kepler-22b, what happens if carbon isn't the foundation of life? Could life forms based on elements like silicon or sulfur exist, building their bodies and sustaining biological functions in ways we cannot yet comprehend? Non-carbon life is a concept that seems almost alien to us. Silicon, a common element on Earth, is often proposed as a potential substitute for carbon in biological structures. A silicon-based life form might be more resilient at higher temperatures, yet it could struggle to survive in environments rich in moisture, where carbon thrives. Could Kepler-22b be the ideal world for a form of silicon-based life? Perhaps the life here will not develop in the ways we imagine, but will have an entirely different biological structure, better suited to the planet's harsh environment. And then there may be life forms that we have never even dreamed of. Life on Kepler-22b might evolve to survive extreme conditions we can barely fathom. Imagine creatures that can endure temperatures far below freezing, perhaps even below -100 degrees Celsius, or ones that thrive under the intense heat of high radiation zones. These life forms could have entirely different physiological traits. Their bodies might not feature the soft, organic skin we're familiar with, but could be more like resilient metallic or stone-like structures, designed to protect them from the brutal environment. If life exists, would these organisms engage in photosynthesis like we do? When we set foot on Kepler-22b, it's not just about conquering a distant planet. It's a leap into a new era of exploration and understanding. The universe is not just an endless expanse where stars shine. It is an infinite question that humanity has been relentlessly trying to answer. Kepler-22b, with all its mystery, holds not only the challenge of survival, but also an incredible opportunity for research. Can we unravel its mysteries, or will they remain unanswered questions forever? Exoplanetary research is not just about exploring distant worlds, but about understanding more about ourselves. If Kepler-22b truly can support life, whether in a form similar to Earth's or something completely different, it would open the door to a future where we can examine life through an entirely new lens. The question is no longer simply whether life exists beyond Earth, but how that life might exist and evolve in such an extreme environment. Life on Kepler-22b could provide crucial clues about biology, revealing how the fundamental elements of life could be structured and maintained under unimaginable conditions. The atmosphere of Kepler-22b, though it may be different from Earth's, presents a fascinating puzzle. Elements like radiation, temperature extremes, and atmospheric changes could allow scientists to rewrite theories about exoplanetary atmospheres. We could gain deeper insights into planets within the habitable zone, worlds similar to Earth, but with entirely different operating mechanisms. And it's not just about life, it's about understanding the factors that drive planetary development. From geological structure to how resources are distributed and utilized. Meanwhile, research organizations like NASA are preparing new technologies to explore Kepler-22b. This research project is not merely about launching a spacecraft to collect data. It's a technological revolution where advanced tools will help us reach what once seemed impossible: extremely accurate atmospheric measurements, automated systems capable of operating in harsh conditions without human intervention, and biological models that could recreate life under non-Earth-like conditions. With each scientific breakthrough and each unanswered question about Kepler-22b, we move closer to a better understanding of the universe and our place within it. But have we fully prepared ourselves for these discoveries? Can we face findings that may change the way we view life and the universe? Or are we simply stepping into a game where we don't fully understand the rules? Where questions about life are not only scientific inquiries, but existential questions about human existence in an overwhelmingly vast and unpredictable cosmos. Stepping foot on Kepler-22b is not just about conquering a distant planet. It's a leap into an evolutionary journey, one where humanity must recreate itself in the harsh environment of an alien world. Stepping foot on Kepler-22b is not just about conquering a distant planet. It's a leap into an evolutionary journey, one where humanity must recreate itself in the harsh environment of an alien world. Gone are the familiar skies, the sprawling fields, or the vast oceans of Earth. The only thing humans will bring with them is themselves, wrapped in layers of advanced technology and boundless creativity. Building a long-term space base on Kepler-22b is not a far-off dream. It is a practical, challenging, yet immensely promising plan. So, what do we do when faced with an environment that cannot sustain life without the help of cutting-edge technology? The answer is not simple. What we need is a combination of knowledge, technology, and factors never before tested. Can humanity figure out how to survive, or will we become lonely travelers? Once again, failing to find our place in this vast, uncharted universe? One of the first steps in building a base on Kepler-22b is to leverage the available resources on the planet. "3D printing technology, which has become commonplace on Earth, will be the lifeline for constructing sustainable, cost-effective structures using materials from the planet itself, whether stone, sand, or minerals, will help reduce dependence on resources shipped from Earth. However, this is no easy task. The 3D printing technology must be capable of operating under the extreme conditions of Kepler-22b, where temperatures may be extreme and cosmic radiation will affect every material. These 3D technologies must not only be powerful enough to build the base, but also capable of repurposing natural materials from the planet, creating a sustainable recycling loop. But this base cannot simply be a structure, it must also be self-sustaining. To survive in the long term, humanity will need to integrate self-sustaining systems. Technologies that allow us to maintain life without relying on Earth's resources. A biological greenhouse will play a crucial role in this system, where crops can photosynthesize and produce oxygen, while also maintaining the natural water and air cycles. Growing food in a closed environment is not just a survival factor, but a symbol of human creativity and adaptability. We won't have vast fields or forests, but instead artificial spaces where every plant, every branch can sustain a human life. Water is vital for survival in an extraterrestrial environment. And on Kepler-22b, collecting and recycling water from every available source whether from vapor, ice, or even the atmosphere, will be critical. This filtration system must be not only extremely efficient, but also operate continuously, providing enough clean water for the entire base's ecosystem. Any failure in this system could mean the death of the entire base's inhabitants. Building the first space base on Kepler-22b is not the end of the journey. But the beginning of a new era, one where humanity must not only survive but also figure out how to live in harmony with an entirely foreign planet. Can we overcome these challenges? Or will life on Kepler-22b be nothing more than a daunting, arduous effort, marking the end of grand hopes? The answer may lie in humanity's perseverance and intelligence. In building a new home from technology, dreams, and sacrifice. The space base on Kepler-22b will not only be a symbol of life, but a testament to our endless ability to innovate and adapt. When humanity steps foot on Kepler-22b, we are not only facing an alien planet, but also confronting profound questions about the nature of life, existence, and our future. Can humanity evolve and thrive on a planet that is not our own? Can we create a society and a civilization that not only survives but also develops on a world that may have no similarities to Earth? Developing a species on Kepler-22b will not simply be about maintaining life. It will be a survival experiment in a new world where everything must be recreated from scratch. Different atmosphere, scarce resources, radiation, and extreme temperatures. These elements won't just change how we build shelters, but will fundamentally alter how humanity lives and evolves. The development of civilization won't be a mere replication of what we have on Earth. It will be a rebirth. A transformation without the protection of the familiar elements we rely on. So, what will humanity do on such a planet? Survival won't just be about finding shelter. It will be about creating an entirely new society. Perhaps we won't have crowded cities or noisy industrial zones. Instead, society will have to be built in self-sustaining zones, closed environments with advanced technology, where every individual is not only part of society, but also directly involved in the survival of the community. Closed environment living models, such as biological greenhouses, automated water filtration systems, and renewable energy solutions, will no longer be secondary technologies, They will be the core requirements for survival. However, this alien civilization will not resemble any society we've ever known. Earth, with its rich cultural, political, and social history, will no longer be the only model. The community on Kepler-22b may develop a social structure that is not based on traditional concepts like power, money, or national borders. Instead, divisions in organization could be entirely different, where space, resources, and rights are shared and managed in ways we have never considered. Can humanity learn to live harmoniously, not based on accumulation, but on collective survival? Will this society foster a new culture where life is not something measured by material wealth, but by cooperation in a harsh environment? This civilization may not simply be about sustaining life. It could be the development of a new foundation for humanity. One that does not rely on Earth's resources, but on our own ability to adapt and innovate. This development could create a society free from the constraints of Earth's principles, where the integration of humans and technology, nature and artifice will form a new way of living. Can we let go of the vestiges of the past and embrace a future where humanity not only survives, but can develop, create, and thrive in harmony with the planet they call home? With all the challenges Kepler-22b presents, the greatest question is not whether we can survive, but whether we can truly build a sustainable and meaningful society in a world where everything is different. A new civilization will not merely be a recreation of the old. But a leap in thinking in how we understand and shape life. On Kepler-22b, humanity will not just have to learn how to live, we will also have to learn how to evolve. In a space where life remains an untapped miracle, yet to be fully understood, while we may conquer unimaginable distances, the universe constantly reminds us that we are not the center of all life. Kepler-22b, with its brutal gravity, suffocating atmosphere and perilous oceans, is no place for us. It stands as a testament to the limits of humankind, proving that not every planet is capable of welcoming life from Earth. while we may conquer unimaginable distances. The universe constantly reminds us that we are not the center of all life. Kepler-22b, with its brutal gravity. Suffocating atmosphere and perilous oceans is no place for us. It stands as a testament to the limits of humankind, proving that not every planet is capable of welcoming life from Earth. However, the lesson from this failure is not a stopping point. Space exploration, though painful and fraught with risk, remains the path. That leads us toward a deeper understanding of the universe and our existence within it. Kepler-22b may not be the home of humanity, but the search for planets that can offer new opportunities for life must continue. In every failure, we move one step closer to truly understanding our ability to survive in this vast universe. With all its mysteries and challenges, continues to open new doors. A powerful invitation for humanity to never stop seeking. Will we ever find another place where life can develop and thrive? Time and the explorations yet to come will answer that question. This planet resides within what scientists call the habitable zone of its host star, a Goldilocks zone where temperatures are neither too hot nor too cold, providing the perfect conditions for liquid water to exist. It's a hopeful promise, like a ticket for humanity to explore new worlds beyond Earth. Kepler-22b is not like Earth. It's 2.1 times larger and 9.1 times more massive than our home planet. The gravity here is twice as strong, making movement a tremendous challenge. You would feel an invisible force pulling you down, each step becoming harder to take. Like a nightmare where gravity is merciless, and every movement is a struggle against an overpowering force. In the atmosphere, it's a thick, impenetrable veil that contains no oxygen and hydrogen and helium, elements completely unsuitable for human respiration. There's no life, no air, just a heavy, silent sky that envelops the land like a nightmare of invisible existence. Can humanity adapt? Can our technology save us in a world where the air will never be enough to breathe?